and that was fun. Now fast forward to 2000. 2000, I come to Kenya for about 3 months. Yeah. When I come to Kenya, the scene has changed. You know, guys are now producing music, as it's no longer anything. You know, guys are making jams. Radio in Kenya is now playing Kenyan music. You know, things are happening. Necessary Noise is out. Nameless is out. Gidigidi Majimaji is playing. Kalamashaka have a show. Like there's just this whole new wave of new things going on in the Kenyan industry.
Hi, baby card. I got it and I had it, pana.
What do you mean, baby? She's not in. Who are you?
Akikucha mampia ni sulukuru. Niwe napenda, tekiko ya posta, ukitengesha, jicho wangu na roka, ambao nimetupa, matamu kutimka, ni wewe tunataka. Hasupo, niwe napenda, tekiko ya peka, ukitengesha, jicho wangu na roka, ambao nimetupa, matamu kutimka, ni wewe tunataka.
People like me, you see, I identify with them so much because I'm making them have what they can't afford and they admire through videos, by seeing videos and through magazines.
Yeah.
I make them have that at a cheaper price.
Yeah.
So now I identify with them so much. Yeah, and they feel like we are now having someone of our own who is going to create this kind of scene. So people in the future, many people can be able to afford, you know, like cheap stuff, but it's, you know, up to the standard. You can see we have the F, we have the U, we have the N, the D, and the I, and there's the F, the R, the A, the N, and the K. So that's the Fundi Frank logo.
Yeah, the art thing has been going on for a while now, and it's basically, you know, their interpretation of hip-hop. The culture is so strong over here. A lot of people like rap music, a lot of people like the hip-hop music. So they started painting the cars different characters from hip-hop. Like you got Matatu's written Cannabis. The more colorful it is, the better it looks, the more it'll attract people.
This is a warning for every borough in Kenya. Anywhere you are, all you have to do is switch on your power music station and get hooked.
101.9 Metro FM.
Our target audience is between the ages of teenagers, between 15 and 35.
15 and 35.
Yeah, and if you feel you're young enough or young at heart, then you can still tune in.
We don't tend to, as a station, have an opinion. We sit as a forum for other people to have their opinions. So the presenters really are the forum for, and we have a lot of open line people calling in. It's for them to air their views. We play some Lingala in our Hits Not Homework program, in our evening program, and Lingala is extremely popular. But now they're going into hip hop, they're going into rap, and that's the American influence really, and American TV and Channel O and so on.
You've also got a radio slot. Talk to me about that.
Stay tuned, manze. Kuna interview fulani hapa inafaa kuchapwa noma sana. Stay tuned 251964 Wakilishi Show.
Baka kwa X-Files, my MC wakiniona wote wana enter exile. Kama Mobutu Sese Seko, naleta mtetemeko shinda thunder. Kila mtu ana
Wakilishi Show came out, we dreamt about it. We thought of taking hip hop to another level here in Kenya, because also people knew about hip hop, but the kind of hip hop they knew is Will Smith kind of stuff. But us guys used to listen to Tim Westwood on tapes from the UK. So we were like, why can't we have such an in Kenya?
Knocking on your door, who all stars? soul in the hole. Special dedication to wase wote wanapiga hapa masimu Nyambene Veve, tuko na vibaya sana hapa hivi. 251964 is the dial.
So, I'm here for a couple of months, and once again I meet my old friend from rap community Pitodera days called Aizo. Yeah. So we meet up with Aizo, and we come up with an idea. Yeah. Now the original idea was, why don't you make us instrumentals from Stato and send? Because it was still a problem to have instrumentals in Kenya.
Yep.
And I was very much for that idea. I thought it was a cool idea. So what we agreed is, I can make songs which people can generally write to. Yeah. So I don't have to sit with the artist in the studio. I just make a song which has enough space for writing to happen within it. And then you guys record it, and however it goes after that, it goes. So that was the original plan that we had in place. Yeah. Now I go back to the US, and I'm working on songs, and I have some Kenyan artists in mind and what have you. Now back then the email was tough to do, and there was no WhatsApp, there were no mobile phones, and there was no exchanging or sending music through the internet.
Or Dropbox.
Dropbox. So you had to send a physical DAT tape via FedEx or DHL to Kenya. Yeah. Now, at this point, an idea comes up between the two of us, and it was for the next year, Easter, 2001 Easter.
Mm-hmm.
And Isaac tells me, why don't we make an album that can sell during the Easter period? This album is what we later on came to jointly agree on a name, and the name was Rebirth Volume 1.
Yep. That is insane. That is insane. And there's one song there in particular,
yes,
that for me, till today, actually that song is what made me ask my pals, who is the guy who did this song?
Yes.
It's in fact, and I always used to call you Soulchild,
yes,
because I thought you were the rapper in that song.
I get
the song that started
yes,
like there's a helicopter,
yes. And those are ideas I got from the farm, that's the ideas that I got from the song that made me want to become a producer. So I finally got a chance to redo that same type of sound.
Microphone checker, the paper chaser with new styles, students who should know my Soulchild taking over. Be like a road told job before the group was on. What you rob again, yet you need worry. Microphone checker, the paper chaser with new styles, students who should know my Soulchild taking over. Be like a road told job before the group was on. What you rob again, yet you need worry.
Yani, this story is mortal things. Wasa la 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 la. We keep stopping because we just want to make sure that you guys are capturing the story. So now, this guy shared the journey. Imagine, as much as he shared, we're still in the year, is it 2000 and now?
2001.
2001.
Yeah.
This is probably even when now I probably got to connect with Steve. But then in 2001, you guys did something very radical, and I want to go back to this conversation.
Yeah.
A compilation album called The Rebirth.
Yes.
At this time, the Kenyan music industry is exploding.
Yes.
There's camps popping up, musicians popping up left, right, and center. There's such a love for the Kenyan music industry.
Yes.
You get? Now, in 2001, you guys did this Rebirth industry. If this was a top 10, if the Capital FM, that show,
yes,
that's where I had that song.
Yes.
Soulchild's taking over.
Yes.
You get?
Yes.
That's the first time I had it. So now let's talk about the Rebirth album.
So Rebirth,
who are the artists on it, and then just explain.
Rebirth was a compilation album which the original idea just kept growing bigger. Yeah.
Morphing.
So initially we thought we'd make an album with a few songs that can sell over Easter. Yeah. It was supposed to be targeted like Easter holiday, Easter music type of thing, yeah. But we started doing like the pre-production like the year before. So
by that you mean what do you mean by pre-production?
Like just the concepts, making the instrumentals and what have you, yeah. Now the
So
challenge.
It's you in Stato.
Yes, and Isaac is in Nairobi.
Yes.
Now the challenge, of course, was distance, and those days there was no cloud anything. You know, there was no, you couldn't collaborate online like now. Like right now you can make a song with the producer in Australia, but then it was you'd have to just come up with the music, believe it's going to work, put it on a DAT and FedEx it to Kenya. And
make him and the person who receives
and then it has to go to a studio
and work with what is there.
Precisely. Yeah. So at this time, there was a number of tracks that I had just done that had not been used by anybody. And then we just figured, why don't we let me put together about 12 songs. 11 about, yeah? Let me put together about 11 songs and just send them out and see what happens. Yeah. And so I just got an assortment of songs which ended up with artists like Judy Nduati.
Hold on, by this time you're saying songs, you mean tracks?
Tracks, yeah, sorry.
Instrumentals,
yeah. Yes. So this ended up with artists like Judy Nduati.
So you didn't know who they are going to?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
It's
so
Aizo.
It's Aizo who made it happen on this end.
Yes, it's Aizo who made it happen on this end.
Aye.
You see, I didn't know. Amy just told me, just send me good stuff. You know, put for me good sounding instrumentals, and then we'll see what to do once they get to Kenya.
What?
Yeah. I had no contact with the artists. I didn't know who was going to record what. Yeah. But I just put together instrumentals that I thought were going to work. Yeah. So I think I sent about 10, 11 instrumentals. And they ended up with like Judy Nduati. There's a chick who was called Claire who had a really dope neo soul kind of song. There was the song you're saying, the Soulchild taking over. There was Aizo himself who did a song. There was Naomi Kiyama who was in Texas, and I was able to get in touch with her through another producer, a Kenyan producer in Texas, who said she should do a song on this compilation. Now, the song of Naomi, it's actually a remix. She had done it before. Then she sent me what she had done.
The vocals, basically.
Just the song.
The song.
So I just did a remix of it. At that time, remixes was still quite something. And then at one point, she was able to travel to Atlanta with her producer. So we found a place and we recorded. Yeah. And then here's the interesting thing about the Rebirth Volume 1 album. I'd sent all these songs for various guys. There was a group called Till Eternity and a few other artists who were on the album. I sent everything and work was going on in Kenya and whatnot, yeah? So by this time, communication is difficult. It's either an email which you don't know when it will be responded to or just a hard phone call. So Aizo has a phone in his house. If not his house, there's always a place I could get him on phone, yeah? So we talk on the phone and Aizo tells me, there's this artist that you really need to get on this compilation, eh? She's a brilliant artist. She's done a song with Gabriel Ominde, and her voice is fantastic. And she already has the song, but what can we do? So I asked Aizo, what's the name of this artist? And Aizo tells me she's a chick. Don't confuse her name for a guy, it's actually a chick. I know most guys get it confused, but don't confuse the name. It's a chick, but the name sounds like a guy. The name is Henri Mutuku. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Well, where's the music? I've never heard her. I don't know what she sounds like. So here are our options. I was going to put a cassette in FedEx and send it to America, isn't it? Then we think hard, and I go to sleep at night and I think hard, and something hits me in my sleep at night, and I call Aizo the next day and I just give him this crazy plan. I tell Aizo, you know what, Aizo, do this, you call me, yeah? I will not pick the phone, okay? The phone will go to my answering machine. When the phone goes to my answering machine, it will begin to record a message.
No way.
When it starts recording the message, put Henri Mutuku's song on the phone. Put the mouthpiece for your phone on a speaker and let it play through. I will let the recording for the voicemail go, even if it's for 5 minutes. Play the entire song, give me playback that I am going to record on my answering machine like a message, like a voice message, somebody leaving a message when I'm not in the house. And we do that. And that's how I got Henri Mutuku's song in America.
So now you made like a remix to that.
Yes.
What is that song called?
Nakuhitaji.
That's one of her biggest songs.
That's the song that did KORA. That's the song that won KORA awards.
That's the song that won her
a KORA award. Yes, it was recorded as a voice message on an answering machine. A tape answering machine, not a digital answering machine. A cassette answering machine. Because there's no other way for me to get the song. It was either Aizo puts it on mail to come as a cassette to America through customs and everything. Yeah? There was no MP3. There was no way to attach a file. There was no other way I was going to get it. So after not sleeping the whole night, I just figured, how long does that micro cassette in the answering machine run? It runs at least 10 minutes. What if we just left it to run as a message? And that's how we got the song.
So my question is now, so you get that, you record the track, and then now you send him back the track.
Yes.
And she just records as usual.
Yes. So basically, what you hear, the Nakuhitaji that you know of today is a remix. Even on the album, on the Rebirth album cover, we titled it as a remix.
But
yeah?
The remix is the big song.
The remix is the big song, but it was not the original.
Oh,
I made a song.
That is insane.
Yeah, I made a song of another song.
The song everybody thinks is Nakuhitaji
is a remix.
Actually a remix.
Gabriel Ominde did it first. I must give him credit for that. Yeah.
You get?
Yeah. Gabi had done it. It was already out. It's not a song that had not come out. You get? But we saw something in that song, so we decided to struggle and make another song.
Okay, I've got to ask you this because that became the biggest gospel song in the country.
Correct.
Do you get? By the time it went to win the KORA, even Henri Mutuku is known for that song.
Henri Mutuku was one of the first gospel guys to hit #1 on Kiss. There was something called Top 7 at 7. It was one of the first songs.
There was no even gospel being played on.
I remember when Henri Mutuku was playing on Top 7 at 7 Kiss, by that time, there was a song for Dr. Dre and Mary J. Blige. There was a song for, there's another Kenyan artist, I can't remember which exact song it was at that time. There were like 4 songs that kept fighting for #1 every 7 p.m. Today it's Henri Mutuku, tomorrow it's Mary J. Blige, the next day again it's another person, the next day again it's Henri Mutuku. Like the 3 or 4 songs that alternated for 2 months for the #1 spot. For Top 7, and those days Top 7 at 7 was for voting. People used to call. People used to call in and make requests. So it was actually amazing that Henri Mutuku could actually, as a gospel artist on Kiss FM, that time Kiss was still fairly new.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Kiss came with a bang. Even though it was new, it came with a huge bang because our only option otherwise, urban-wise, was maybe Capital FM.
Correct.
In terms of, yeah. Okay. So, 2001. You see, when I think of Steve Ominde, this is what I think of. You entered my life in 2001.
Yes. You came with a group called Extra Fat.
Yes.
You are living extra
So
fat.
let me explain even how
Yes.
small this world is.
Yes.
I was not a rapper.
Yes.
I was the music manager
Yes.
of a group called Extra Fat that had Gitura Kembi, who was our producer, and three other rappers.
Muruli
Kiflo,
and some other
Mike, and Mike went with you to Sito,
Yes.
and a guy called JD, who was a rapper were helping.
Yes, I remember.
Extra Fat, the reason why I'm saying this story is because we recorded that song with a guy called Julian.
Yes.
Rekebisha.
Dr. Rekebisha.
Dr. Julian
Yes.
Rekebisha.
Yes.
You get? And after that, we're like, we need the guy who has done the song Soulchild's Taking Over, because Extra Fat was played on radio and we actually knocked off Necessary Noise, which
Yes.
was huge for us. So but then it only was there for like 2 days and then it bounced.
Yes.
So we were looking for the guy who had the #1 song, and that was Soulchild's Taking Over. That's
Yes.
why, that's all that's in my mind.
Yes.
But the reason why I've said this whole story is because when I met you, you were in Kenya.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
So
let's talk about now the return of
2001. The industry is so good over here. Things are so hot over here, yani. So the whole idea of setting up a studio here is feasible. Yeah, it's doable and it's attractive. Yeah, by this time. So we're saying to ourselves, this is a budding industry. There's acts.
Who is we?
By this time, I was working with Isaac.
Oh, now you guys are okay.
Yeah. So as we're doing Rebirth and as we're putting all this stuff together, we're also thinking of how to start a studio and more or less do it as a business. Yeah.
Soulchild's taking over to take over.
So you know the funny thing, the funny story about that song, we sent a song which was supposed to be on the compilation for Rebirth. Yeah. But at this point in time, Isaac was so much for the idea of, you know, we need a hype song. We need a song that is just hype and nothing but hype. Like, you know, we have to hit guys with hype and whatnot. Yeah.
Because of Ogopa.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, what do you have in mind? So he's like, there's this rapper, man. He's called SOG. At that time, it was called SOG, the Brad Lusambile.
The small kid that
the small kid from rap community is the guy who rapped. We're taking over.
This one is
So the same guy who we thought was a genius in rap community, the same guy we gave the song and he did it. So by this time, we just needed a song for the hype. Yeah. And the hype worked at that time. Yeah. So here we are. I've come back to Kenya. I've shipped the equipment.
So now you've decided I'm coming back good.
Yeah. So now
2001.
2001, I've moved back. Yeah. I've shipped equipment. We've set up a studio. Yeah.
This keyboard that we're seeing.
This one, yeah.
These monitors here.
Okay. Most of the other stuff came later, but the keyboard is the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we are.
Because yes, I remember this studio used to have stacks.
Yes.
Used to. By the I'm probably for keeping on cutting you, but I need to say this. This place used to have stacks. I remember I would walk in here. It's not like the way technology has helped us in terms of getting rid of things.
Of course.
So when we talk about the amount of equipment you had accumulated, try and paint a picture for people.
Well, by then, because there was no advanced music synthesis on a computer as it is now, if you needed drums that punch, you had to have an external machine to make drums that punch. Right now you can do it even on a laptop. Yeah. If you needed certain types of multi-effects to happen on a voice or on an instrument,
reverb and things like that.
Yes, you needed to process it outside of everything and then bring it back to a mixer. You see? So back then the process was long. Yeah. And before computers, there was what was called ADAT. ADAT was one of the hardest things to record with. Yeah, Akina Ted were doing ADAT. I can't even tell you now how to use an ADAT properly. But back then, that's what had to be done. Yeah, but with time, a lot of equipment that was very necessary back then is now software. These days, a laptop is everything you need. Every studio these days is running off a laptop.
So all those stacks of things here were all those things that you shipped back. Because I'm trying, you know, guys can look here and not understand it from today's perspective.
Yes,
if you are, depending on what generation you're born in or when you enter the music.
Yes.
So that's what you meant when you were saying you were shipping stuff back.
Yes. For that time, for you to be competitive, for you to be able to survive, yeah. And for you to be able to do a song that's going to go up to KORA and win KORA, then there's a certain type of gear you had to have. Yeah?
That's insane.
For it to be able to work. So
you ship the stuff back?
So we ship stuff, we set up. By this time, we want to do it as a business. It's no longer fun now. Now we want to work, as in now.
Aside, what are those pit bulls? Had you experienced the music business? Because I've heard you talk. Where else in America did you experience the music business?
Well, the main thing that was happening for me, I was a beat maker, yeah, and I was a young beat maker in the sense that I had not quite gotten a grip of how the real record industry works, you know. So guys would come up to me and tell me, you know, you need to sign up for the point system. Don't just sell your instrumentals, you know. If you sign up for points, then this is how it works and whatnot. So by this time, I'm still naive, I'm still excited. I'm still not seeing the sense and the need to go the full business way. I just want to make beats and have those beats playing on radio, you know. So by this time I had so much to learn and I was still very green. Yeah? So coming back to Kenya, you come back here and you find an industry which you can actually survive in. Yeah, because I mean America is cutthroat. I mean, by that time you're in Atlanta and there's you know, Outcast and
Little John,
and and whatnot. So obviously it was more sustainable over here. So I'm back. We've done Rebirth. We've released it. It's doing well. Those days CDs were selling. Like we printed CDs. CDs are going. You take CDs to stores, Nakuma, and they're actually selling. Yeah. At the same time, Nakuhitaji is just generating a life of its own. Yeah, because now there was a show that Family Media is new at this time. There's a show that Family Media, a concert that Family Media wanted to do. I can't remember who, but they were bringing an artist from US, I remember. I can't remember the name of the artist very well, but all I know is that Henri Mutuku has been put up to curtain raise for this show. So, Leo Slingerland has sent a cameraman by the name of Alan Aligula to go and make promo material for the upcoming concert. Because Henri Mutuku is curtain raising, he's supposed to go and just do something with Henri Mutuku kidogo so that it can fit in maybe a 30-second ad that is going to run maybe like 2 weeks before the show. And what does Alan Aligula decide to do? Alan Aligula decides to shoot an entire music video without anybody's permission.
You can't make this stuff up. You're joking.
I'm telling you, I kid you not. What? Alan made a bold move. Alan was sent to go create promotional material
for the industry, man. Guys like that. Alan, thank you.
He was supposed to create promotional material for an upcoming show. He's with Henry. They have a camera. They're on a location. He shot the whole video and cut it. And that's why we have Henri Mutuku with the KORA award today.
What?
Yeah. Because KORA Award could only accept entries with videos.
Yes, it's true.
If you didn't have a video, you can't enter KORA. I didn't have money to make a video. We're not even planning on videos. By that time, radio was everything. All we needed was to be on radio.
Oh, man.
So Alan goes out, shoots the whole video, cuts it, and a video is there. And before we know it, we're making entries. Max Trano tells me we need
Mike
songs.
Strano Fat.
Max Trano from Fat calls me one day and tells me we need songs to enter for an award ceremony in South Africa called KORA. And if you have a video and a song, give us. And so we coordinate with Akina Alan and whatnot, and the song gets sent for KORA. And before we know it, there's a nomination. I heard of the nomination, I didn't think much of it. I'm like, Ken is going against Kofi Olomide and Brenda Fassie and all the greats of Africa. She doesn't stand a chance. So I didn't think much of it, you know. So I remember even on the day KORA Awards was being broadcast, streamed live on KBC TV, I was not even watching. I think I was somewhere outside chatting with guys, for guys to call me and tell me, you guy, go turn on TV now. That guy, that chick, that artist you produced, is her name Henry? Yeah, she has won. So I go running to the house. And I'm told, I'm seeing somebody standing on the stage. I'm like, this is Henry. Henry used to come to the studio and we had to drive her to Buruburu like at midnight after the sessions are over to drop her home, 1 a.m., you know, because we just wanted to finish a compilation album and put it out. And Henry's was the song that was sounding extra dope out of all the songs we're doing, you know. And Nakuitaji it grew a life of its own, and to date I'm still amazed. They went out there, we recorded in a booth that had eggshells for soundproofing, yeah. And I didn't have high expectations, you know. I heard it has a nomination. I'm like, cool. I hear Henry's been bought for a ticket. She's going to South Africa. I'm like, cool, but I didn't think it stood a chance, because to me, KORA is what? KORA is Femi Kuti and whatnot. So I was like, it stands no chance.
The Africa greats.
Yeah. So then we get a call. Then I'm outside. I remember it was a Saturday. Somewhere outside the house chatting with guys, and then I'm getting my phone is just ringing off the hook. I'm being told that song you did. Then I turn on the TV, I'm seeing Henry on stage holding an award.
From an early age, the gifts were evident. From reciting nursery school rhymes, poems, Bible verses, and even reading newspapers.
She was very genius. She started. I was very impressed the first time when she entered. She was in the nursery school. She could displace the nation when she was in top. So you could see something in her that was unique, and she went on like that. I remember in Standard 8, she led in the division, in the Thika division, I remember. Then she went to Loreto Girls. And she would sit outside their house and sing very loudly, very funny sounds, you know, like not a song as such, but just so, until one day I met her across the road and I asked her, what is it that you sing every morning? And she burst out laughing. She told me she was practicing. I asked her, what are you practicing? So I think that was a long time ago, not now. So I think for her it has been a continuous process.
Her arrival was met with joy and emotion from friends and family. They too had great sentiments to share.
She was a very calm girl, and she loved music from the beginning. Yeah, so I enjoyed her being near me. In fact, when I heard she was going somewhere, I was feeling as if I'm being left without something was going out of me. But I thank God for what God has brought to the life of Henry, because this is an honor that I should glorify God for it.
We are very happy. We are very excited. Not even as a family, but also as Kenyans and East Africans.
Working with Henry was quite an interesting experience. Henri is quite determined, very talented, easy to work with, and I must say that she's really worked, and God has really been on her side.
All I can say is to God be the glory, great things he has done. Because to see Henri, all I can remember of is like Mary. Nobody thought highly of Mary, the Virgin in the Bible, but the Holy Spirit, God himself, looked upon Mary, chose her to bring Jesus Christ through her. And look at the number of people who went to South Africa. We had big names going to South Africa. And even me, as Henri's manager, at some point I was like, oh, wow, why are we with all these people? What are we going to do? But see what happened. God forsook all of them and chose the Mary in this situation, who was Henri. And we're just thanking him because he said when you lift him up, he's going to lift you up also.
Sentiments aside, where does she get her identity and inspiration from?
Ye are the salt of the earth. You are not the salt of the salt. You are the salt of the earth, yeah. So, or the light of the world. So you can't be salt with nothing to be salty in. So that's my perspective. That's why I go for for stuff that sometimes I am purely gospel, but it makes sense because there's someone somewhere who's waiting for someone to tell them it's okay to stand on their faith and proclaim it loudly and say Jesus Christ is my Savior, He's my Lord, and my life is all about Him. Yeah.
I know He heard my plea. He caused my eyes to see.
Nakuhitaji, what was the motivation behind it?
I wrote it in 1996. It's basically my prayer. That Nakuhitaji is my prayer. I wanted to do the right thing. There's so many times, you're faced with different things and you're wondering what's the right thing to do and what makes me so special from the other person who went through this place, and probably messed up and all that. And I don't know where else to run apart from going to God and telling Him, please show me the way.
So it was just like that. Like that was as amazing as it was,
That's it. So now you come back to Kenya. You guys set up this studio. You've done the Rebirth. You've seen the success. You've tasted some of the success that the music industry can come up. What happens next?
So I mean,
good and bad.
Yeah.